this video, we are doing NFL and MLB combined imperialism. Each NFL team will be on a team with an MLB team. Here we go. Each NFL team will be partnered with an MLB team in the same city or area. There are 32 NFL teams and only 30 MLB teams, so the Panthers and Saints will be on their own. Each duo will be in a different spot on the USA map. I will spin a random wheel to decide who attacks and an arrow to decide where they attack. If they land on an unoccupied state, they annex that state. If they land on a state that's occupied by another duo, they play a match between their NFL teams and a match between their MLB teams. If a duo wins both, they take that state. In case of a tie, the team being attacked chooses which sport to play the tiebreaker in. Whoever is the last duo alive wins the video. Here is a list of every duo. The Blue Jays, the Marfins, the Gemets, the Patriots, the Ravioles, or not Raviolis, the Browdians, the Red Gulls, the Peelers, the Chief Yules, the Bronchies, the Aiders, the Chargers, the Textros, the Jadres, the White Colts, the Titanals, the Range Boys, the Feagles, the Giant Keys, the Comassionals, the Ligers, the Brackers, the Twikings, the Bears of all ages, the 40 Giants, the Rangels, the Marinocks, the Cardmanbacks, the Buccaneers, and the Browkins. Here's a look at the map. First team attacking will be the Red Gulls, and they will be attacking south, which is going into Kentucky. The next team up is the Aiders. They will be going north, which hits Idaho. Next up, the Ravioles, and this should be a very strong team. They will be going just north, and that looks like it will be the Feagles. And the Eagles actually pulled out what I think is safe to say we would call an upset. And then the Phillies ended up beating the Orioles. So just like that, our first elimination is the Baltimore Ravioles. So the next team up will be the Ligers, and they will be going east, which they cannot do. Again, they can't go there, but they can go south, and that will be the Browdians. So the Lions will take this one, and the Tigers beat the Guardians, which means the Browdians are out, and the Ligers will take over Northern Ohio. Next, we have the Titanals going northeast, and this will take us to the Comassionals. So the Commanders beat the Titans, but the Cardinals avenged them by taking down the Nats, and then the Titans avenged themselves by taking out the Commanders, so the Comassionals are out. So next up, we got the Blue Jays. They can't go north, but they can go south, and they'll be taking on the Peelers. So the Bills take the football game, but the Pirates absolutely destroy the Blue Jays in the baseball game. So they choose to play another baseball game, which this time the Blue Jays easily take. So the Peelers are out. So now we have the Bears of all ages going east, and they will be playing against the White Colts. So the Colts beat the Bears, but the Cubs do beat the White Sox. But the Colts just say, fine, I'll do it myself, and they take down the Bears. So the White Colts have beaten the Bears of all ages. So next is the Jadres, who are going northwest, and what we're going to do is, because they have one in the east and one piece of land in the west, they're going to attack from their bigger land and take out Alabama. And now the Feagles will be going west to play the Blue Jays. So the Eagles take the first half of this heavyweight matchup, and the Phillies take the second, so the Feagles have taken down the Blue Jays in a sweep. And now we have the Panthers, and because obviously they're just a football team, they will just be playing their opponent's football team. And they're going north, which means they'll be playing the Titanals, which in this case is just the Titans. And unfortunately, I don't have a photo for this game, but I can confirm the Titans won it. So next we have the 40 Giants. They're going north, and so they take out Oregon. So next the Marinocks will go northeast, and that will just barely be the Aiders. So the Seahawks beat the Raiders, setting themselves up for what should be an easy win against the A's. But surprisingly, the A's actually take down the Mariners, and they're feeling so confident that they choose to play baseball again, but this time they lose to the Mariners, meaning that the Aiders are out. So now the Giant Keys go east to play the Blue Jays, but I just remembered that the Blue Jays were out, so this is actually Feagles territory, so they will be up against the Feagles. Well, the Giants and Yankees are not very good, and the Phillies and Eagles are both great. This should be very hard. So the next team up will be the jealous neighbors, the Jamets, who as it turns out will be attacking the neighbors they are jealous of. So, New York Derby Part 1 will go to the Giants, but New York Derby Part 2 will go to the Mets, and the Giant Keys choose to play another baseball game, which they also lose. So the same piece of land has gone from the Blue Jays to the Feagles to the Giant Keys and now to the Jamets. So next is the Dodgers, and again they have one on the west and one on the right. So this is a random number generator. Number 1 will be the west one, and number 2 will be the east one. What do we get? We get a 2. So that looks like the Titans. So the Jaguars barely edge out the Titans, and the Padres comfortably take out the Cardinals, meaning that the Dodgers and their 2 pieces of land are moving on. Look at how massive the Dodgers are. Anyway, next up is the White Colts. They'll be going north, and that looks like Brackers territory. The Packers easily take out the Colts, but the White Sox do beat the Brewers, forcing the Packers to easily take out the Colts again. So the Brackers are moving on and the White Colts are out. The Twikings will go south and assume control of Iowa. The Saints are another team where just their football team has to play, and they're going southwest, meaning they're playing the Textros. And if the Saints can win this game, the Astros are out without even having a single game. Isn't that a crazy circumstance? And that is exactly what happened. The Astros are out without even getting to play a game to defend themselves. They had to rely on the Texans to do it, but they failed them. The Browcons only have one way to go, and it's the Dodgers. But if they do win, they will get this little piece of land over here. But that's not really important compared to this huge land right here. And that is exactly what happened. They barely edge out the Jaguars, but make up for it by absolutely demolishing the Padres. Getting more runs than hits. How's that even possible? So next is the Rangers going south, and we have had a New York Derby, and now we're going to have an LA Derby. And the Chargers will take the first half of this match, and the Dodgers will finish the job by beating the Angels. So there's only one New York team left, and now there's only one Los Angeles team left. Well, now the Chiefs will finally have some action going southeast, and they will be playing the mighty Browcons with the possibility of having the entire southeast to themselves. So, the Chiefs are always likely to win these games, but the problem is their accomplice, the Royals, is the second worst team in Major League Baseball. But they actually pulled off a surprise win against the Braves, even though they got less hits. And now, just like in real life, America is forced to watch the Chiefs dominate the country. Red Gulls will finally get some action for the first time since taking control of Kentucky early on, going west, which means that they will be indeed playing the Chiefs. Chiefs take this game unsurprisingly, and now more surprising is that the Royals ended up losing. But this is what I mean, that as bad as the Royals are, as long as the Chiefs have home field advantage, they can keep choosing to play their football games, and they can just keep winning, even if the Royals lose every time. And now the Chargers. No. Yes, that looks like the Marinocks. Even though the Chargers and Dodgers are both not particularly good, they ended up beating the Marinocks in a sweep. And this is the continuation of a long run that they've had, which is unbelievable. The Ligers cannot go north, but they can and will go southwest to play the Brackers. So they win 1 and win 2. It's a sweep. Next up is the 40 Giants, and the only way they can go is to the Chargers. Hey guys, Football Central here. So I have bad news. I made a mistake. So as you can see here, the 40 Giants clearly beat the Chargers. But unfortunately, on the map, I accidentally made the Chargers win, which is obviously the wrong answer. And so I feel like the 40 Giants got screwed, but obviously it's too late for me to go back and fix this. So I just want to say that if the Chargers end up winning, I will give half credit to the 40 Giants, and I'm very sorry. Next up is the Twikings, who are going south and playing what is looking to be the favorites of this tournament, the Chiefs. And I can tell you, it would take something for anybody to be able to beat them. The Chiefs beat the Vikings pretty expectedly, and also expectedly the Royals end up losing. But I tell you what, the Chiefs are lucky that they keep being the ones being attacked and get to choose the tiebreaker. Because if the Royals would be playing the tiebreaker, this would be a whole different story. The Chargers will now go southeast, and I tell you what, I think that's actually going to be Utah. Now we got the Saints for the first time in a while. Remember, they're just a football team. They will be going south. And because this is a map and not the actual Earth, that is 100% going to be Hawaii. Next up is the Ligers. They'll be going southeast. And that looks like the Chief heel. So we're going to be playing our first games in a while. And the Lions actually beat the Chiefs. So now Tigers. The door is wide open for you to knock out the Chiefs. And all you have to do is beat the Royals. The Royals. Come on. Yes! Oh, what an interesting development. The Chiefs and Royals have been eliminated. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. 3.5 whole minutes of the Chiefs and the Royals being eliminated. That is almost it. After Florida, I don't really feel like doing the rest. But there it is, 3.5 minutes of the Chiefs being eliminated. And yes, that was me playing the drums. Top 10 now, and look who finally decided to join in. The Marvins, who've been sitting there all game, and they can actually only go to the Ligers. Well, that was short-lived. After all of that, the Ligers just get swept. But at least they did go out with a bang, which is more than most of these teams can say. So now the Saints will go southwest, which I'm sorry to say is definitely Alaska. So now the Chargers will go east and finally get the Bronchies involved. And where have the Bronchies been this entire time? They could have been powerhouse. Never mind. Finally, now we get to see the Range Boys for the first time. They'll go southwest, and that can only be the Saints. And who knows, maybe the Rangers will also never get a chance to defend themselves. They will, though, as the Saints are finally eliminated. Now the Jemets, who at one point were the biggest empire, but we've kind of forgot about them. They're now going west to play the Marfins. So the Dolphins obviously beat the Jets, but the Mets do rally back and end up beating the Marlins. And would you believe it, the Jets have actually done it, beating the Dolphins, and now they control half the country. So the Jemets will now go southwest, which will take Arkansas. So the Jemets will get picked again, and now we're going to do a random generator to decide which territory they attack from, and it will be the west one. They will go south, meaning that they're going to play the Range Boys. I think we've found our newest powerhouse, as the Range Boys will sweep the Jemets in two. Final four now, and we get the Cardman-backs, who have not played a single game yet. They will be going southwest, which means they'll just barely be playing the Range Boys. So the Cowboys beat the Cardinals, and the D-backs actually avenge the World Series by beating the Rangers this time, but it will not last long, as the Cowboys have beaten the Cardinals yet again. Wow, final three. The Range Boys will go south and take Mississippi. And now the Patriot Sox will go south and take Rhode Island. And now the Patriot Sox will go south and to take Connecticut. And now the Patriot Sox will go south to play the Range Boys. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, get swept. So now it is final two between the Range Boys and the Chargers, and this final wheel spin will just to be determined who is the away team, as in they are invading, so they will be playing in the other team's stadium for both games. And that will be the Chargers. Not the best start to the championship game, I'm not going to lie. But they do manage to beat the World Series champions, so now they have a chance, after all this, to win the entire video.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Thank you very much for watching this video. Congratulations to the Range Boys. Please make sure to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.